Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going to tackle one of those little grammar things that trips up pretty much everyone, the difference between for and since. But don't worry, by the end of this, you're going to know exactly which one to use every single time. Let's clear this up.
You've totally been here, right? You're writing something, and you just stop and stare at a sentence like this. I've been waiting for an hour? Since an hour? It can feel like a total guess, but I promise you, there's a really simple rule that makes it all make sense.
So to solve this little puzzle, we're going to start with the one single fundamental rule that separates these two words. I'm telling you, once you get this, everything else is going to click right into place.
Okay, here it is, the core difference. We use for when we're talking about a period of time, a duration. Think of it like a length, 2 hours, 5 days, 6 months. Since, on the other hand, is all about the start of a period. It's a specific point in time, like 8 o'clock, or last Monday, or April. One's a measurement, the other's a starting gun.
So let's look at for. Think of it like you're measuring a block of time. In this sentence, Sally has been working here for 6 months. We're not actually saying when she started. We're just measuring the duration, that 6-month chunk of time. It's all about how long. Now, let's compare that directly with since. Sally has been working here since April. See the difference? We're not measuring a duration anymore. We're pointing to a specific moment on the calendar, April, and saying the action has been going on from that exact starting point all the way up until now.
All right, time to put that new rule to the test. Your turn. Take a look at the sentence. Just ask yourself, is the phrase, he left school, a duration, a length of time, or is it the starting point of his job search? That one question will tell you exactly which word to use.
And the answer is since, right? The phrase he left school isn't a duration like 3 weeks. It's the specific event, the moment that kicked off his whole job search. It is the starting point, and that is exactly what since is all about.
Awesome. So now that you've got the basic rule down, let's add another little layer to it. It turns out the question you're trying to answer can actually set you up perfectly to use either for or since.
Just think about these two types of questions. A when question is always looking for a specific point in the past, but a how long question is looking for a duration, a period of time that stretches up to the present. So you see, the question itself kind of nudges you toward the right answer.
And you can totally see how this plays out in a real conversation. If I ask you, when did it start raining, you're going to give me a specific point, an hour ago, or at 1 o'clock. But if I ask, how long has it been raining, well, now your answer has to describe a duration, either with for an hour or by pointing to the start time with since 1 o'clock.
Okay, let's try this again, but we'll work backwards this time. If the answer you hear is a long time, what was the question? Just think about it. Is a long time a starting point, or is it a duration?
The question has to be, how long have you known each other? And why? Well, because a long time is a classic duration, right? It measures a period, so it's the perfect answer to a how long question. A when question would need a specific moment, like when we were kids.
You are absolutely crushing this. We have totally covered the core rules. So now, let's just look at a few little special cases and common phrases. These are the details that are going to make your English sound supernatural.
Okay, here are a few quick tips. First, a lot of the time you can just drop the word for. You can just say, they've been married 10 years. Sounds totally natural. Second, when you're using negatives, people often use in instead of for, like they haven't had a holiday in 10 years. And last, here's a big one. We don't use for with phrases like all day or all my life.
Now here's a common phrase that might seem a little tricky at first, but it uses the exact same logic we've been talking about. You'll hear people say things like, it's 2 years since I last saw Joe.
This is really just a different way to say the same thing. Saying it's 2 years since means the exact same thing as I haven't seen Joe for 2 years. It's just a different structure. Think about it. The last time you saw him was the starting point of that 2-year period. It all comes back to the same rule.
All right, we've covered a ton of ground. So let's just boil it all down into one simple, memorable tool that you can use anytime you're talking or writing. This is your final challenge, just getting this little check locked into your brain.
Here it is. This is your two-step check for any situation. Whenever you feel stuck, just ask yourself these 2 questions. Step 1. Am I talking about a duration, a length of time? If the answer is yes, use for. Step 2. Am I talking about a starting point, the specific moment something began? If yes, use since. That's it. That is the whole game right there.
So let's end by putting it to use right now.
Think about it for a second. How long have you been watching this explainer? You probably answered using 4, right? Now, what's one thing you've learned since you clicked play? See? One word measures the journey and the other pinpoints the beginning. And that is a tool that you can now use every single time.